Okay, so we have a bunch of cardboard here that we're going to cut up into little cubes so we can mock up the cabinet layout and figure out how to use the space. But first I want to talk about the framing. So this ribbing here is curved. I don't know if you get a better angle on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of lumber, 2x6 or something. I'm going to hold it flat against this. I'm going to trace that arc. And then I'm going to cut that arc using probably a jigsaw. And I'm going to transfer that onto a bunch of other pieces of lumber. And then wherever I want framing, I'm going to push it tight, mark what it's touching, cut that out, and continue that process called scribing all the way until this and all the framing is coplanar. And that's going to give me a nice just easy straight set of framing to put my finished boards on, which will probably be tongue and groove something. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, so that's that. We'll be back with cabinet boxes. Okay, so it is Saturday, January 9th. Nice, beautiful day. You can't really see the mountain out there, but it is beautiful. Clear and sunny, pretty cold, but good day for work anyway. This is the framing section as promised, so I've traced this piece to match that interior rib, and I'm going to sand it smooth before I transfer it onto all the other framing parts. Okay, so I've just spent the last 2 hours on a bandsaw making, I have 8 of these little furring strip framing members, and they match this piece pretty well. So what I have over here, I have my first stud set, and I've measured from this existing frame back to this line right here, and then it's just a straight line all the way back. So I just measured the same distance, 10 1/8 inches off at the base, and then they plane into the same place at the top. So I have this pink line, it's a dry line, it's just a string. And what I'm going to do, I have this next stud mocked up here, just hung up with tape for now. And the way you do this is you pull your line until it contacts that next stud over, and then you look at where it is on this side as it contacts that, and we're like solid 1.5 inches out, so that means that something over here is in the way. So I'm going to mark this out until this line connects all 3 points, and I'll do that at top and bottom, and we'll come back when it looks a little better. Okay, so I finally have the 3rd piece of framing in, and the string contacts all 3 at the same time now. It's hard to get all 3 in frame. But so they're right at the top and bottom. This is where I have marked out, and just bit by bit I used just a chisel and chipped away until it hit the right spot. You can see this piece of frame is basically just behind this wood strip that will come off later, and this is in the same place. So you just continue that process on both sides. I'm going to do studs every 24 inches or so, which means 1 more on that window side, and then another 2 running into this window here, and then obviously that side and the top. But that's the basic idea. It's going to take me a few days to get all these in, but just a bandsaw or a jigsaw to form your studs. Obviously straight walls are easier, but we want to maximize space, so that's why we have the curve, and you just match them in and just keep pushing up against whatever's obstructing it until your lines are right. Just take out a little bit at a time. It's always easier to remove wood than to add. For attaching, I left all my construction adhesive at work, so for now what I've done is I've pulled these screws out, just a couple, and they are 1 inch long, which means that going from here to the exterior, I have at least an inch before I penetrate. Obviously don't want to push out the exterior wall. And then you just measure from this point to this point and add this to 1 inch. And you just choose a fastener that will attach into here. I used self-tapping 2-inch screws, about 1/8. Yeah, so I will update when there's more to show.